Welcome to Stitch and Witch. I'm going to do a monthly bullet journal setup. I kind of am enjoying doing these. I've really enjoyed having themes the last couple of months. And then this month I'm going to do a theme of Bridgerton. Last month I asked everybody on my Facebook to kind of vote on it. But Bridgerton came in second place, and I decided I want to do it this month. Mostly because I want to use these washi tapes. Like, to be completely honest, choosing Bridgerton as my monthly theme this month was entirely about wanting an excuse to use these particular washi tapes. I do want to apologize right up front. I don't know what happened with the focus on this video. For some reason, it's really off in a lot of places. I am very frustrated by it. I think I didn't have my regular lighting because I kind of rearranged my living room. I rearranged my entire living room to watch a dinosaur documentary. So I'm going to use my Microns. Of course, I always use these every month and throughout each month with my weekly spreads. So I'm going to use those. I have my 0.5, my 0.3, my 0.1, my Fudenosuke pen. I only use my hard tip. Honestly, I only ever use my hard tip. Like, I don't even know why I own a soft tip. I chose a few different colors. I chose these ones from my Crayola Supertips. If you haven't watched my Crayola Supertips video, I'm going to link it down below, but in my Crayola Supertips video, you see me giving my Crayola Supertips names because the Supertips don't have names, and it annoys me so bad because I will often make a note of, like, you know, which of my Tombows I'm using each month or whatever. They don't have names. So those are my five super tips that I used, and then I used I added these 5 Tombows to my my little pencil pouch for the month too. And I'll list below which ones each of those are and what their name is. My roller ball, that's my kind of corrector more than anything else. That's what I usually use that for. And then a couple of Mildliners there that I'm going to use this month. And of course, my whiteout. And a pencil. That's actually a Tombow pencil that came with a Tombow calligraphy set that I got. And honestly, I think I just need to buy a bunch of Tombow pencils because I own a ton of pencils, but none of them are quite like that Tombow pencil. There's just something especially good about the way that it moves. Like the way that it moves over the page or something. I don't know. There's just something special about the Tombow pencil, I guess. So I used my my Tombow in black there to write out the month, June. As I do this monthly, you'll see that I kind of did a little bit of a rainbow theme as well as my kind of loose Bridgerton theme. So I've taken my themes to be a little bit less about, like, replicating things from things that I like and more about just kind of the feel, the atmosphere of it. So to me, Bridgerton is like flowers and colors and all those dresses, and I had to have, like, the yellow for Penelope because I feel like they always put Pen in yellow dresses. But then I started looking at the colors and realized I had a rainbow, which is perfect for June because it's Pride Month. So I did kind of this rainbow theme throughout my monthly calendar there, and I really love it. Kind of made, like, a really bright, happy monthly spread, which is perfect for June, I think, and perfect for, like, the state of the world right now, I guess. I sped up the video a little bit here and skipped a little bit of it because it's a little bit boring just watching me draw lines, I feel like, but I don't know, maybe you all like that. Oh, and I went a little bit over. You're gonna see I made a little bit of a mistake at the end of the rows. So I've watched the second season of Bridgerton now. I watched it, I guess at the beginning of May I watched it. I watched the whole thing in, like, 2 days. And it's so good, you guys. Like, if you're not watching Bridgerton, I don't even know what you're doing with your life. Because seriously, it's so fun and light and happy. And I don't know, it just gives me so much joy. Like, you should just be watching Bridgerton. Like, really. And I'd totally watch a show that was just Penelope and Eloise, which I just read. If you don't want spoilers, well, these aren't really spoilers so much, but I just read that next season is going to really focus on Penelope, which I'm really excited about. So here's where, like, it's a little bit blurry. I don't know why, but you can't really see as well how I put in the letters there. I mean, the numbers of the month, the numbers of the days there. And then I whited out my mistake because I'd gone over a square, because that's what happens when you only kind of pencil in what you're going to do instead of really penciling in what you're going to do. I put goals and tasks there. I've really been trying to differentiate for myself the difference between, differentiate the difference, whatever. I've really been trying to tell myself the difference between, or focus on the difference between goals and tasks. Like, tasks are things I have to get done, have to mow the lawn, have to take out the trash, have to do the laundry. Goals are the things that I also have to get done, but they have a bigger purpose. Like, taking out the trash has exactly one purpose. It's to get the trash out of my house, right? Mowing the lawn has, the purpose of being able to enjoy my backyard. That's really it. But goals are more like things that focus on my my career path, things about Stitch and Witch, especially about my writing, about my knitwear design, things I really want to do in that regard. So I took a quote here from Bridgerton. It's a quote from Colin, and he says, "She's too busy reading to notice anything else as usual." And honestly, like, I went looking online for quotes from Bridgerton. It's not exactly a quotable show. Like, it's not the kind of show you go to get little nuggets of wisdom, I feel like. And I struggled to find some that I liked that stood on their own. Like, if you know the show, the quotes are great, the lines are great, the dialogue is great. But if you're trying to pull them out like I did for, when I did Hamilton as a theme, those quotes can stand on their own, right? It's just a different style of writing. But I did really like this one. I have been doing a lot more reading recently. Tomorrow, I think I'll probably, or maybe later today, I'll record my monthly roundup for May, and I'll talk about a couple of the books that I've read recently. And I don't know, I've just been really focusing on more reading and less social media time. And I think I say this all the time. I feel like I've said this on my podcast. I've said this here on YouTube. I say this all the time, that I'm going to focus on more reading and less social media time. And then I kind of like fall back into this pattern of obsessively checking social media. And it's a problem for me. It really is just a problem for me. So I used my washi tape there. As you can see, that was, like I said, my kind of main purpose of doing Bridgerton this month was mostly because I wanted something colorful, and I wanted to use that washi tape right there. So I just kind of stuck some in some cute little places. There's just something about washi tape. I don't know. I do need to go back and do a little tab. I've been doing a tab on the monthly for each month. I've been using washi tape to make a little tab on the edge of the page so that I can find that month easier, and find at the beginning of each month easier, and I haven't done that yet for June, but I'll probably use that same floral one there. I didn't end up using the 4th washi tape, I don't think, at all, and maybe I won't, but I do still have it in my pencil pouch and in my bag to use maybe on a weekly. But the little dotted green and the floral, I don't know, they just really went well together. I honestly don't know where those washi tapes came from either. I know I say this all the time. Washi tape is not, like, easily identified. Like, there's nowhere on it that you can keep track. It's not like markers that say Tombow on the side or Crayola on the side, right? I just don't know. I don't know where the washi tape came from. I tend to buy it on clearance at Michael's. A lot of times it's from the collections sets from Michael's, but sometimes people give them to me. I don't know. They come from everywhere. Okay, so my brain dump and my accomplishments page. I've been really struggling with the accomplishments page and making something that functions for what I need and is also pretty. For some reason, my lettering is never quite right, and you're going to see that here in just a moment. I wrote just accomplishments. I started it too far over to the right. Then I decided to throw June on there because I realized I hadn't specified, and it just looks bad. Like, I'm just not a fan of how these pages are coming out. But I really need them. Like, I need that kind of reminder of what I have accomplished. And it's really helpful when I sit down to do my roundups and really look at each month and think about what I read and what I knit and what I created. So, like, they serve a really strong purpose in my life, which is really what a bullet journal is all about. I am just not all about how they're coming out. They're just not cute. So maybe for July, I'll do some thinking about something cuter, something I actually really want to use each month. Like, I'm using them. They're serving their purpose. They're just not, they're not as aesthetic as I'd like them to be. I don't know. Also, the word accomplishments is really long, and for some reason it's a lot longer than I ever expect it to be, and I always think I have the wrong number of C's in it, and it's just a problem. You see me flip back there because I realized that I couldn't remember which categories I use each month. And I think I changed my categories up a little bit this month too. I have knits, books, media, that's what it was. Because I started a different thing with how I listen to music. I think in the age of streaming, we all really have gotten into like just throwing Spotify on and letting it play for us, and it knows what we want, or throwing YouTube on shuffle or whatever, like making a playlist and throwing it on shuffle. We do that a lot, and I really have been thinking a lot. I was talking to a musician friend, and he's working on an album right now, and he was talking about the order of the songs, and I was really thinking about how important that order of the songs is for musicians when they make an album. Like, they put a lot of effort into how they're going to arrange that album, what order, and then, you know, them and their producers or whatever, how they're going to put the songs on the album, what order they're in. And there is value to that order, and there's value to just listening to an album in its entirety. And I've started doing that. I've been using my Hoopla account, which I get free through my library. I've been using that, and also Spotify and a couple other places. And I've just kind of been picking an album, and I'll listen to that album for a week straight. So, like, I'm recording this voiceover on May 31st. And in the last couple of weeks, I've primarily been listening to Taylor Swift's Folklore album. I listened to for a couple of weeks there. Dolly Parton's Blue Smoke album, which I think is like 2000, I want to say 14, 15, I don't know, somewhere in there. I've been listening to that. I got really hooked on Jon Batiste's We Are album that just won a Grammy for the album of the year. It's so good. I got really hooked on that for a while. And then I kind of moved to live. I've been listening to a couple of older live albums. Throwing Copper has been kind of on repeat. And I have always loved that album. I've loved that album for a really long time, but I just kind of have been listening to it a lot lately. So I thought about like how I do that with both TV and with music. I tend to get stuck on something. Like I watch Gilmore Girls for months straight, right? I get to the end of it and I start right back at the beginning. It's just a thing. And it becomes kind of a background to my life. And I thought it'd be fun to start recording what that is. Like, what is my current soundtrack to my life through this little media section. Anyway, so as you can see, the video's moved way beyond me talking about that. But now I'm on the weekly there. I didn't do a tasks list on this weekly. And I just started using it this morning. Because like I said, today is the 31st. It's Tuesday. I didn't really use it yesterday because it was a holiday and all I did was barbecue. But I went to like start filling it out this morning for things I need to do for the week and realized I don't have a task list, which is really weird. I didn't go really like all out. I feel like at least one weekly this month I'll end up doing a bunch of like florals or something because Bridgerton has so many gardens and flowers, right? I think I'll end up doodling some florals at some point, but for now I didn't really go all out with the drawings. I just did a really simple weekly. The day was getting long by the time I got to this point in creating this video. So I just did what I needed to there. I do like how the yellow and gray looks for the habit tracker there. I was filling that out this morning thinking, oh, that's so cute. It's got like this kind of almost plaid effect. And the yellow really, like I said, makes me think of Penelope. And she's my favorite character on Bridgerton. So it made me happy. I got a little bit like wonky with the washi tape here. And it took me a bit to figure out exactly where I wanted it. And erasing pencil lines. I love that little teacup washi tape. I wish I could remember where I got that one because it is really cute. I do think I got it at Michael's. I think it was on clearance from their recollections. Oh, and I cut this one the long way. I forgot about that. So I cut this one the long way because I wanted it to kind of break up the spread, but not as forcefully. And I think I moved it around a lot. Yeah, this is where I got a little bit. I just couldn't decide where I wanted it to be there. It's covering the next week. It's covering the K on week, and it bothered me. I just kept moving it until I figured out exactly where I wanted it. So anyway, that's my weekly, my first weekly of the month. There's my monthly for June with my kind of rainbow Bridgerton theme going on. And my quote there from Bridgerton. I do like how the monthly came out. I do not love the accomplishments page, but the brain dump is simple and cute, and the weekly is pretty nice. Anyway, that's it for now. Have a great day and go make something fun.